What's up, guys? You know, just first off, before we even start, congratulations. I'm proud of you for self-investing in yourself. This is what it gets, right? You never know what you get when you self-invest, but I promise you, you always get more than a person that's looking for free. And so we discussed this on the last 2 days, so I wanted to break it down a little bit. As you can see, the first thing is, what is your gift? When we begin to talk about your gift, I want you to think about your talent. I want you to think about your strengths. I want you to think about things that you enjoy doing, right? Your gift is things that are just innate. It's just in you, right? But before we can move to anything, you have to identify your gift. Remember, this is about your financial freedom. And I wish I could tell you that you can work for somebody and work your way to the 1%. I don't know anybody that's done that. I wish I could tell you that you can take a shortcut. I don't know anybody that's done that. But what I can tell you is what I've done. Use your gift, the thing that's already inside of you, because it will make room for you. All right, so watch this. Once you identify your gift, if you have not identified your gift yet, just stop and spend some time identifying it. Reflect on your interests, right? I want to help you. Reflect on your interests. What interests you? What things bring out your curiosity, right? We recognize your strengths. Some things we're just naturally good at, right? Your gift is what's easy for you that's hard for other people. Recognize your strength. And then the third thing, think about some challenges you overcame. All the stuff that you went through in your life, you're better now because of it. Think about that stuff when you start thinking about your gift. Because if you overcame it, somebody tried to stop you from using your gift and try to destroy you, and you overcame it, so it's still applicable. All right? After you recognize your gift, the difference is between your gift and your calling is something you need to sit and just think about. Right? Because just because it's your gift does not mean that's what you're called to the world to do. We all have multiple gifts, but the difference between your gift and your calling is more aligned with your purpose. Right? Your calling is how you use your gift. And so if your gift for somebody like me is speaking, my calling is speaking to the youth to empower them. My calling is working with you to put a life plan together. I have a calling, right? How you use your gift is your calling. And so don't just get stuck up on the gift, because people have a gift, but they haven't figured out how to use your gift yet, right? So after we do this first step, we're going to move on to the second step. Again, this is about your financials. So I ask you, what would you do for free? What would you do for free? Do you even know? You probably were so caught up with money that's why money keeps eluding us. So again, I want to help you. How can you figure out what you'll do for free? Well, the first thing is experiment and explore, right? Don't be afraid to fail forward. What does that mean? That means if you try to start doing something that you think is your gift, and you start saying to yourself, like, you know what? I thought my gift was working with kids, but I don't like kids like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? There's nothing wrong. You go back to the drawing board, and the list that you made, you start figuring out your gift. Right? But if you do like it, guess what? We keep pushing forward. Same thing. If you like to cook, you experiment. I don't actually like to cook like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, we just take a step back. All right, so what would you do for free? Also listen to that inner voice. You know the little voice inside your head if you're lying or not. Right? I'll go speak for free all day, but I'm not cutting anybody's grass for free. Right? Listen to the inner voice. And then the third one is self-reflection. Where do you see yourself spending most time at? It's important to think about these things, because again, we haven't even gotten to money yet. But until you can change your way of thinking about this process, money's going to continue to elude us, all right? All right, so watch this, guys, because after you do the first step and find your gift and your calling, after you do the second step, and again, this should be a list. So when you find your gift, make a list of like 5 things. 5 things that you think could be your gift. 5 things that you think could be your calling. We'll come over here, same thing. What's 5 things that you think you would do for free? Right? Because if one of these things don't work, we're going to have to go to number 2. If that don't work, we're going to have to go to number 3. So watch this. After we figure these first 2 steps out, the next thing is, what are your monthly expenses? Guys, I cannot harp on this enough. If you do not know your monthly expenses, you don't even know how much you need to make. All right, you don't even know how much you need to make. And so when we begin to talk about your monthly expenses, I just like round numbers. So let's just say your monthly expenses are $2,000. If your job pays you $2,000 a month, we're just making it, right? We're just surviving. But we're called to go from surviving to thriving. So if you got a gift, if you have a talent, again, what we're trying to do is start using our gift and our talent to produce, because we're producers, right? Words are important, to produce $2,000. And so we find ourselves in category A of we either need to make $2,000 from our gift, or we need to save, I'll say $24,000 from our gift, so we can have a year of buffer room. Right? Because you can't just dive in to start using your gift, because what happens if your gift's not making any money? You're going to be broken. If you're homeless, you can't help anybody. All right, so I do understand we have to utilize our job to raise some capital. But where are your monthly expenses? Because once you figure out what your monthly expenses are, you know how much your gift is going to need to make for you. All right, if you don't know your monthly expenses, you don't even know how much your gift's going to need to make. So watch this, because that's the stuff we covered. There we go. Yep, that's the stuff we covered 2 days ago. So just to wrap this thing up, once you figure out your monthly expenses and you know how much you need to make, that's when you know how much you need to charge. We're not money hungry and just trying to become millionaires just so we got fat pockets. No, we charge based off of how much we need to make. So remember, if you don't know what your gift is, what are you passionate about? Everybody doesn't like speaking like me. But I gave you the barber example. I gave you the daycare example. I gave you the chef example this morning. If you weren't on the car, I got you. I'm just going to go through one just for time. But a barber, remember, how you do anything. Yep, you probably finished it. It's how you do everything. And so the consistency from drinking water, the consistency from these morning calls are going to be the same consistency. Now here's your biggest thing. Give it away for free. Remember the second one, what would you do for free? Now you need to take that step and start giving it away for free. So my friend that's a barber, he started off barbering, but he had his full-time job still. So I told him, give it away for free. Start cutting hair free one time a day. Just one day a week. You don't even get, just for an hour. And he started finding some homeless people, started cutting their hair, right? Being faithful over the few. People started noticing. People started saying, can you cut my hair? His clientele began to grow. And guess what? He became so busy, he had to say, you know what? I'll charge $100 a person. Yeah, he tried to scale back. Right after he scaled back, he still was busy because people was willing to pay the $100. Why? Because he gave his gift away for free. My friend that started the daycare, start watching 3 kids on a Saturday. And guess what? People start coming. Can you watch my kid? Can you watch my kid? And you grow. The chef, the same thing. It doesn't matter what the gift is. How we're going to make money and get to the other side is figuring out how we can use our gift to impact this world. So talk to me after you tap into your gift. Number 1. After you figure out what you'll do for free. Number 2. After you figure out your monthly expenses. Number 3. The third and last step is to start giving your gift away for free. And be consistent with doing it. Don't even put a timetable on it. Start giving it away for free, and time will tell how much money we're going to start making. Guys, this is how we break it down. If you have any gifts, make sure you schedule your one-on-one if you have any questions or anything like that. But please, identify your gift, identify what you would do for free, make the list of your monthly expenses, and then let's start giving that thing away for free. And in due time, guess what? We will reap a harvest if we're faithful. Guys, I don't want to get too biblical on you, but these principles are going to change your lives. Have a great day.